Thorfinn from Vinland Saga is definitely one of the most important characters in anime. From his personality to his fighting style and an unhealthy amount of rage, he has brought joy to our screens. And with the second season coming up, we think this is the perfect time to dive deep into his character and understand who Thorfinn really is. Before we move on, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and also leave us a like and comment. Thorfinn was like any other regular child. He was curious about the world and fighting, but he was also very naive because he had been raised in a very safe environment by his father and mother. His father, Thor, who was the captain of the Vikings, which were known as the greatest Viking force ever, left battle because he felt, I don't want to do this no more, and settled down in a village far north, away from battle, and his hope was that he could raise his kids away from battle. But after he was found out, he was forced to take a small army out of his village to go and fight in order to protect the rest of the village. And at that moment, his son Thorfinn would make a decision that would change the rest of his life. He stowed away in the ship without the knowledge of his father and witnessed the greatness of his father in battle when they were attacked by mercenaries, but unfortunately also witnessed the death of his father at the hands of Askeladd. This traumatic moment flipped a switch in his head as he realized the brutality of the real world. Overcome with rage, all he wanted to do was avenge his father's death. So he stayed with his father's killers, where he fought wars as a child, getting stronger with the goal of killing the leader of the group, Askeladd, to avenge his father's death. That was mainly his motivation. He cared about nothing else apart from putting a knife down Askeladd's neck. He would go to war, kill a bunch of people just for the sake of getting a duel after, so that he could fight Askeladd and kill him. He didn't really care about anybody. He didn't make friends with anyone. His only other relationship was with Canute, who was the king. But by far, the person he connected to the most was Askeladd. Askeladd always had a soft spot for Thorfinn. I think because of his interest to Thor's and how Thor's died, he believed he could understand more about Thor's from his son. So Askeladd indirectly became Thorfinn's father, mentor, because he taught him everything he knew, and with the constant duels that they were having, he would always sprinkle in some advice in those duels, which made Thorfinn a better warrior. But Thorfinn didn't realize this because all he saw was Thorfinn was the killer of his father, and all he cared about was to get revenge on the person that killed his dad. After living with somebody for this long and going through a bunch of experiences where you protected each other's lives, you can't help but develop a bond between each other, even if you don't realize that this bond is there. For Thorfinn, he didn't realize it was there till the death of Askeladd, which was a lot of mixed emotions for Thorfinn. He first of all was angry because Askeladd didn't die at the hands of Thorfinn, which kind of robbed him of his life essence. And after being robbed of your life essence, you basically have no function in life anymore and you do not know what to do. But at the same time, he was upset because he has lost his second father figure. Even if he didn't understand this, he didn't think it would hurt him because throughout his life, he grew up hating Askeladd. He lived most of his life with Askeladd, grew up with Askeladd. Askeladd was his father that he hated and he loved at the same time. So seeing his death and not being able to kill him himself, it just brought in a lot of mixed emotions for him that he just completely lost it and he lost all motivations to live. So you could say the life of Thorfinn was really tragic because from a young age he lost his father to moving up being a child soldier and living with the killers of his father, eventually developing a connection with the killers of his father without him even knowing it, with the goal that he would get to avenge his father's death, going down the line to not even getting the opportunity to avenge his father's death, and losing his only or second father figure, who really was his only father figure in his life, because most of his life he lived it with Askeladd. It just paints a very tragic picture in the first season of Vinland Saga for Thorfinn. And going forward from the first season, Thorfinn goes through unbelievable character development, which I wouldn't get into right now because I don't want to spoil it for anyone before the second season comes up. But his journey from his little village where he lived with his dad, his mom, sister, and living a good life, to where he is right now at the end of the first season. He just lost his second father figure and lost his only purpose in life and feeling lost. It just paints how his life is really in the end tragic. This brings me to the end of Thorfinn's character analysis. Hopefully we'll bring out more character analysis after the second season drops so that we could clearly see the growth of Thorfinn. Once again, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thumbs out.